Listen, I'm not gonna act like you didn't read the title of this video and see the thumbnail. Obviously click because you want to know why, of all anime, I think Boruto is overrated and a bit underrated. Well, I do think it's actually quite a simple argument to make, so let me explain this to you. First of all, before starting, I do need to explain that I am a huge Naruto fan, but not as much as a Boruto fan. I do think the manga is quite good and the anime isn't at the best ever, but I do think it's a bit overrated in my opinion. So why do I think it's overrated? For that, I need to explain the concept that whenever greatness ends and it has some type to following to it, people tend to hate the following a bit more than the main attraction itself. For example, if we leave the world of anime and go into the sports, we can take LeBron James and his son, Bronny James, for example. LeBron James being, for me, one of the best, maybe the best basketball player of all time. And he has a son, Bronny James, who just entered the NBA like 1 year or 2 years ago. The thing is, which is unfair to Bronny, people expect from him to fill the shoes of his dad, which is unfair because Bronny isn't LeBron. Even though they're linked, even though he has the name James tatted on his jersey, doesn't mean he's gonna do the same things. You shouldn't watch Bronny with the same glasses that you watch LeBron James because Bronny is his own different type of person. And it's the same thing with Naruto and Boruto. Even though it's the same world and the same core, at the end it's not the same story, it's not the same thing. It's clearly obvious that it's a different generation that they are trying to touch. The main argument that I hear when someone talks to me about Boruto and how trash it is that, well, Naruto was an underdog and Boruto is just this prodigy with every type of jutsu that he wants to have. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. And I think it's unfair to watch Boruto waiting for him to be an underdog. He's not. The story isn't about an underdog, it's about a prodigy. The great Kakashi himself even stated that Boruto had the Chunin level shinobi before being a freaking genin. That's insane. And when you watch Boruto, you need to stop watching it with the glasses you had when you were watching Naruto. When you watch Boruto, do something for me. Put Naruto and Boruto on the same spectrum, but at two opposite ends. Naruto being an underdog and Boruto being the prodigy. This story is about a prodigy kid. A kid that has access to everything and can do whatever he wants because he's just that good. The story is about a kid that has everything but is gonna lose everything despite being the best because he can never win. And that's the core story of Boruto. And the core story is that whatever Boruto does, even though he's gonna be one of the strongest shinobi of all time, he's never gonna win. He doesn't have it as easy as Naruto, even though everything seems to be in the grasp of his hands. Everything seems to be aligned for him, but instead of being aligned for him to win, it's aligned for him to lose. And that's something I think is really interesting. And I do think people tend to not actually understand that's the point of the whole series. And right now, where we are in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, which is the time skip, it's clear that even though Boruto is super strong and can do almost every jutsu in the anime, he has some difficulty actually managing how he can actually progress and actually find solution to different situations that has in his life because he's not supposed to win, he's supposed to lose. Everybody is supposed to be against him even though people say they love him. I do think it's an interesting take on a character like Boruto. I do understand why people do have a bit of trouble to watch the anime. It didn't start at the right time. The Boruto anime and the manga actually started airing at the same time, but the difference is we got one chapter a month, but an episode weekly. Obviously, they couldn't start at the same place because they didn't have enough material to actually make a good anime. But the thing is, we already had some good stuff, being the Boruto, the movie. The thing is, instead of starting where the movies ended, the anime is starting way before past they were getting, knowing that the movie is about them becoming Chunin. So it's quite a long time before actually reaching that point where it's actually interesting. I do understand why people tend to not be really interested into the anime, but the difference is that's not the case for the manga. The manga didn't start that far. It actually started around at the end of the movie, and the progression of the story is actually quite good. Something I really like about the Boruto manga and later the anime is how well they nerfed Naruto and Sasuke. It was obvious that Naruto and Sasuke were too strong to introduce main plot villains because they could just deal with whatever they want because they were just gods. They could do whatever they wanted to do. But they didn't get done dirty like my boy Madara did. And what I mean by that, the way they lost their power and their abilities to be that strong, it was actually made quite fluid, and I loved how they introduced some powerful villains that could actually deal with them with ease, with more than ease. Naruto and Sasuke got smacked. I do understand that the anime is quite childish in the beginning, but honestly, if you just keep to the part where it's good, afterwards it goes fine. And I know it's stupid to say, well, if the anime is that good, you shouldn't skip to that part. It means it's not that good. Well, you know what? There's a lot of series that start like this. And it's not that the beginning is not good. The beginning of Boruto is actually really interesting because you see the development of the characters and how the characters are going to act for the rest of the anime. I think it's a good prologue to the series. I just think it was pretty handled and a bit too long. Listen, I'm not here to tell you that Boruto is the best anime of all time and the best manga ever written before. I'm here to tell you that I do think before you need to hate about it and say that it's not good, you should actually give a chance to the manga or the anime and actually try to understand what Boruto is. And whenever you actually try to understand that, I do promise you it's much easier to listen and watch it than just being like, well, it's not Naruto, so I don't want to watch it. Because that's a stupid argument. You just look dumb to me, because why would you judge something from something else? Even though it's linked doesn't mean it's going to be the same thing. For example, I'm a super big fan of Kingdom Hearts. Whenever I play a Kingdom Hearts game, I never wait for the Kingdom Hearts to be the same thing as the predecessor. And that's what they've done here. Boruto is something super different from Naruto. The world is supposed to be a world of peace, but because it's a world of peace, so much more is to lose. And that's what is super interesting about the world. Everything is to be lost in that series, and I love how it's made very obviously and clear that Boruto is supposed to lose everything. Just like Sasuke said to him, you're even bigger loser than Naruto. For me, it didn't mean that he didn't love to lose, or he was like a loser, like in a like playing type of way. For me, it was a clear indication from the writers that Boruto is supposed to lose and never win, because that's the goal of the series. Listen, I doubt I'm gonna change your opinion. If you do hate Boruto, it's okay. Tell me in the comments down below, why do you think it's super bad? If you love the video, you can like and subscribe to see some more. It was Benz. I'll catch you in the next one. I love you. God loves you. Bye bye.